Hey, welcome to Shmirchik, Petra's Corner, the Zionist Witch's channel. Yeah, so there's a method to the madness, right? Well, Trump was trying to negotiate with Iran, right? He was saying he wants a peaceful negotiation, blah, blah, blah. And then there was like this whole thing where everything was normal. Netanyahu was behaving as if like everything's fine. And a lot of the Jewish people were having doubts about Trump, right? They were saying things like, what's wrong with him? He wants to be like Obama, making deals, which, it doesn't help, right? Like they're gonna get a nuclear bomb and all that kind of jazz, right? And it was very hard not to be like to think like, oh God, like Trump is accepting a plane from Qatar, like what is going on, like. But then, I thought to myself, like, there must be something that we don't know going on. There must be something that we don't know is going on behind the scenes with Trump, right? Because he seems to always have like some sort of method. There's a method to the madness, right? And so my mother actually put on the family chat what exactly happened with like this whole entire smoke screen that went on, which took Iran by surprise because Iran didn't think that Israel would do anything. They didn't think America would do anything because of everything was just going on as planned and as normal. And I just saw TIPSY TV where his father's in Iran, and it looks like the regime is crumbling and it's falling, and it's bye-bye to that horrible tyrannical fascist regime, right? And the people are celebrating because I think the end is near, and I'm getting chills thinking about it. But he said something that, everybody was doubting Trump, and he said something about I forget what he said, but it was something in this line, right? So before I saw what he said, which confirmed what I read here, was about the psychological operation that had Iran deceived. So Israel's psychological operation that had Iran deceived, right? President Donald Trump's warning. Oh yeah, so TUSI TV said something like Trump gave the Iranians 60 days to negotiate a deal, or else, right? And 60 days passed, and then I think today's like 61 days. I'm not sure, right? But TUSI TV said that, people were saying about Trump that he gave them, why isn't he acting right? But it looks like Trump is actually acting on his word, and there is a method to the madness, it seems. There is like it's all been planned out, right? The whole entire, like I saw countless people on YouTube that were against Trump, and they were saying like, oh, he's this and he's that, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's just sucking up to this person and that person. And Juicy TV says that, he says that now Qatar, that was aligned with Iran, has been helping Jordan shoot down missiles, right, from Iran today, right? So the whole thing has been turned on its, the whole entire world has been turned upside down, right, with the way things were. And so there is a method to the madness with Trump accepting this Qatari plane and getting them on his side to shoot down the missiles, and, switching around it's like a board chess, switching everything around so that to align different countries with different other countries, and to prevent them from being terrorists and all that, right? So also the method to the madness here is about like, oh, Trump wanted to negotiate, and Netanyahu was just gonna celebrate his son's his wedding, and he had Javier Milei come to Israel, and everything was just like a whole big show, like everything's going on as normal, and then bam, they go and take out Iranian nukes and all that, right? So let's read this. President Donald Trump's warning Israel not to escalate the situation until he negotiates with Iran. That was part of Israel's brilliant maneuver designed to catch Tehran off guard. So Trump was acting like a little bitch, right? He was acting like on purpose because it was a plan. He was coordinated with the Prime Minister Netanyahu, which even made people think that there's a rift between Netanyahu and Trump, right? But in reality, it was planned for Trump to behave this way and say, oh, don't do this, to fool Iran, right? So an Israeli strike on the Islamic Republic of Iran on Friday morning was preceded by a complex psychological deception campaign. an Israeli source has revealed. It involved an array of media, diplomatic, and strategic maneuvers designed to catch Tehran off guard. Israeli journalist Amit Segal reported. According to the source, the operation aimed to lull Iranian defenses by creating a false sense of calm through subtle cues and public gestures. The deception reportedly included both domestic and international elements, orchestrated in coordination with various parties. Among the tactics employed were Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's highly publicized vacation in the north of the country and deliberate messaging that no significant action would occur before the wedding of his son, Avner Netanyahu, this coming Monday. It's hilarious.
Lift up your day with Nescafe
One second.
Cappuccino.
Shut up. Wait, what's going on here? It's just hilarious. It makes me laugh. And then I, basically right near where I work in Jerusalem, there is Netanyahu's home is right near where I work in Jerusalem, and it's crazy because there's always demonstrations there, right? So it's funny because he said that he went up north, so a lot of the time he's not there, but his house needs to be protected anyway. But then there's like this whole crazy thing where I think Iran, or who is it, that targeted his house and actually hit his house in Jerusalem. And it's bizarre to me that, like, how could Netanyahu, the most important man in the world, like, how could he, everybody knows where he lives, you know what I mean? Like, how could he feel safe in his home, even if he's being guarded, Whatever. That's on another subject. I digress. Back to this, right? Over the last few days, Netanyahu spent considerable time with the visiting Argentinian President Javier Milei and political efforts to stabilize his coalition because of Haredi party's displeasure with drafting yeshiva students. In another layer of the ruse, it was reported that United States Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, was going to visit Israel this Sunday. It was all meant to project an image of normalcy, implying that no major military decision were imminent. Additionally, U.S. President Donald Trump's public warnings to Israel not to escalate tensions are said to have been leveraged as part of the overall deception, right? So, yeah, like, not to say that Trump is the messiah or anything, but there is a method to the madness of the man. The man has a method about him. He's pretty much a genius, right? And he's like the president. He is the most pro-Israel president that ever lived in the United States, right? And this is the more I read up about the situation in Israel and the relationship between America and Israel, the presidents. President Trump is the most pro-Israel president that ever lived. It's insane, right? And people call him Hitler. Like, that's bizarre. It's sick. It's perverted. It's twisted. It's upside down to think like that, right? So, while the full details of the strike itself remained classified, the Israeli source suggested that the effectiveness of the psychological campaign contributed significantly to the element of surprise. Tensions in the region remain high, and it's unclear whether this revelation will lead to a broader reassessment of Israel and Iranian intelligence capabilities, right? And that's that, my friends, right? So, and then people were saying, like, oh, Trump said 60 days, and if he didn't act on it, then he would never be taken seriously, right? So it looks like 60 days have passed, and bam. Right?
Now we want to bring you the
what was this one about? Ooh, go back.
latest on those escalating tensions
Right,
in the
this
Middle
is,
East. Multiple sources telling CBS News right now that U.S. officials have been warned Israel is fully ready to launch an operation against Iran, raising concerns that Tehran could retaliate on certain U.S. sites in neighboring Iraq. This morning, the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad is advising American citizens to not travel to the country, and the State Department has ordered non-emergency U.S. government personnel there to leave Iraq. More on this, let's bring in CBS News' James Laporta in our Washington bureau. James, we know that Israel has long warned of Iranian threats to its existence, so what is new about what we're learning is part of their assessment now when it comes to this threat?
So what we're learning now is that it seems to be that we are in an impasse regarding negotiations with Iran, between the U.S. and Iran. And for the most part, the U.S. has been holding back has been holding back Israel from attacking Iran. But as of yesterday, we here at the Bureau, we started to get indications in the mornings that negotiations had reached an impasse. There's supposed to be another round set of talks on Sunday, but that the fear is that if Israel attacks Iran, Iran or its proxies would attack American assets in the region. And this is not speculation. The Iranian defense minister has said that if Iran is forced into a conflict, they would attack American interests.
Now, part of the reason Israel has this view of Iran is they have been attacked by, according to Israel, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthi rebels in Yemen. Those are Iranian-backed. But as you just mentioned, the U.S. administration is trying to negotiate a nuclear peace agreement with Tehran. So as Israel makes these threats, where do these talks really stand?
Okay, I'm bored of this, right? So, yeah, you get the picture. That's the story. There is a method to the madness, and there always has been. And that's the psychological genius of both parties working really well together. Anyway, feel free to subscribe, to unsubscribe. Feel free to like, not to like, feel free to comment. And have Shmirchik on Rumble. Have a great day. Bye.